Okay, welcome back. In the last video, we talked about the teachings that the spirits presented in the book, and that they wanted for Kay to share. And I asked Kay what the spirits specifically wanted people to take away from the book, what they wanted them to learn. And I guess Kay to condense that because there's a lot of there's a lot of teachings in there. And she zeroed in on the thought form prison and that we need to get out of that. And I thought we'd do another video and continue with different uh, teachings, things that the spirits would like for people to take away from the book. And then I thought maybe we should dive deeper into the thought form prison and expand on that, so that gets more clarity on what that actually is and what that means to our lives and how that controls our lives, how that controls people's lives, and how the book, in large part, is designed to help people free themselves from that prison. What do you think of that, Kate?
That sounds good. Do you have a copy of the book close
Yes,
up there?
we're talking about Kay
Oh, this
Slater's
one.
book, The Weavings, Dawn of the New World, Dawn of a New World, and you can find it on Amazon. And as you can see, Kay is the author of The Reluctant Shaman and Sacred Link. All right, thought from prison and the important things people should know about it.
As I explained a little tiny bit in that last video, thought forms are what we create all the time uh, as living creatures, especially as humans, sentient creatures. As we're thinking and as we're having emotions, we're having feelings, we're having conversation. Maybe we make thought forms. It doesn't matter, what we're doing. If we're engaging those interior ideas and emotions, and you could be reading a book, watching TV, whatever it is, we are creating these thought forms. You radiate this out. It goes out in our whole auric field, all the way around us, out into the world, and who knows, how far. We could send them across the world if we want to, and people are doing that all the time. They go all over the place. Well, there've been a lot of humans on the planet for quite a while now, and we've been making a lot of thought forms, especially in the last um, 10, 20, 30,000 years, where whenever there's been uh, a lot of people here, we end up making a lot of thought forms, and they literally are covering the surface of the planet. They go way up to the ionosphere, down into the earth. They're inside everything that is material. They're in the air. Some of them stay put. They stay put around you or in a location, or if you're thinking of that beautiful vacation you had across the planet, a couple of years ago, and you're thinking of that spot, and uh, the thought forms go right there. They go straight to it. Or if you're thinking of another person, the thought forms go straight to that person or an animal or uh, whatever it's ever on your mind. So as you can kind of see where this is headed, our culture has been falling apart, has become a culture that is heavily based on conflict and power over, and the superiorness of the fittest beings and people. And we have a war culture. I know people don't really like to hear that kind of a statement, but Uh, yeah, we we definitely have a war culture on our planet in the modern culture, which covers most of the people, most of the humans on this planet. They think in very warlike ways. We learned how to think in warlike ways, and it's been around for so long. Um, Before this world, this era ever started, and it was in the last world and the world before that. And that's the way a lot of Native people talk about our history, that we've been living in these different eras, different worlds. And they don't mean we changed planets or anything like that, or the planet blew up and had to start all over again. It doesn't mean that. It means the culture that they had came to an end for some reason, and they had to start uh, all over again with brand new ways of living, and usually going through survival stages and uh, developing technologies and stuff like that. So what we know of as our history is just this last world that we're in right now, and this world is ending. And that's where all the chaos is coming from, and the corruption of this world and this war culture. The way we think, we learn how to think in a very corrupted way. We learn how to think with our just our linear minds, not investing our emotions, our thoughts on purpose, uh, and our other feelings, our heart, our spirit, not not engaging those things normally, but keeping things on an extremely linear basis and rewarding that to a great extent, so that we managed to block out things of a deep emotional level, or of a spiritual level, or of a connectedness to the universe, to everything in the universe, on our planet, to other people. We're deeply connected on a spiritual level, always have been, always will be. And this war culture has just been burying that whole side of us, which is actually the bigger side of us. When you talk about the way the ancients describe our beingness and our humanness, these things are often thought of as being very feminine, very non-linear. They're about love, they're about deep beauty, about peace, about connectedness, cooperation, living in harmony with everything that is around us. And all of that gets in the way of the war, the battles, the conflict, the trying to do better than. We talked a little bit about the better than, less than hierarchy. That's part of the a war culture, is to have this hierarchy. And it is just so destructive. The ancients describe this whole world as an upside down, backwards turning wheel that tears itself apart as it moves, and it destroys everything in its path. And it can't help but destroy everything in its path, and including itself. It's tearing itself apart. And now that we're at the end of this world, it's torn itself apart so much, so completely. And every piece of our culture and our ways of doing things and institutions and all that is just falling apart around us. We can see that wherever we look. We look in the news, we look on the internet, on whatever venue. you like to go to it. And there's the same picture. Everything's falling apart. And the ancients say that this time that the world is falling apart, we humans have a chance, a big, big, big chance. It's not absolutely 100%, but a really close this time. A chance that we will make it. We'll make it to the other side without huge catastrophes, without losing all of our progress that we have made, and getting to that new world and the other side of the collapse. We we have a whole new way of thinking and feeling and being, and a whole new understanding of who and what we are and our spirituality, the spiritual, the non-linear aspects of all of us, of all existence. We're just starting to learn those things again, to bring them back. And if we do that, if we start working on what we're thinking, how we think, and begin to change that, make a commitment to a better life for ourselves, for our families, for the people around us, people we work with, and for all of humanity, because whatever each one of us does singly in healing ourselves, in healing our mind and our way of thinking, um, this goes to the total human consciousness. It's a direct add add in to the total human consciousness, and that means everybody that's alive on Earth and will be alive on Earth has access to these things that we are accomplishing right now. They have access to it. It becomes part of them. It becomes part of their way of thinking. So what the ancients say is we need to wake up. We've been in a fog, in a stupor, like zombies. The teachers called us the walking dead. And that's gross, but it's really, really accurate when you look at comparing what our consciousness has been like, how we have been treating our minds and our consciousness, our bodies, the planet, uh, what this world has been and what it could be. It could be brought back to its original beauty and harmony, and land restored and plants restored, animals restored, people restored to the way we're meant to be.
Would you tie all this back to the thought form and why it is so important to get out of the thought form prisons? How that keeps us captivated in the old ways of thinking, and how to change that, and how the book is a lot about that.
Good question. Yeah. Okay, as we're thinking, like I say, we're we're making a thought form, and it's joining all the other thought forms all over the earth. And the biggest of all the thought forms is this upside down, backwards turning wheel culture thought form that covers our whole planet. And we're all stuck in it. We live in it. We're stuck in it. We're imprisoned. In some ways, we're imprisoning it around us, hanging on to it, and it is imprisoning us in it. So in these thought forms are all the beliefs about corruption and hatred and suspicion and fear and anger and all these horrible, depressive, negative ways of thinking, negative thought patterns. They're in the thought forms. We're living in them. They're inside of us, and we're addicted to them. We are more addicted to these thought forms than any drug addict is to like heroin or or any of the other substances. It's more addictive, and it takes more commitment and more focus and more concentration to start watching our thoughts, watching what we're thinking, watching what the babble is, watching what the emotions are, and making that choice, because we have a choice at every minute. And we make the choice to step out of the big old thought form, the beast, to step out of it, get it out of ourselves, and bring things of love and beauty and harmony back into the world. We have to bring it back into ourselves first. If we're going to stop the wars and we're going to stop the corruption and stop the hatred and the fear and the dishonesty and all the list of descriptives that you can fit to this is just endless. If we're going to stop it, that means we have to do it ourselves. We have to do it individually. That's what the ancients taught. It is our individual responsibility to try to wake up out of this fog, out of this asleepness, away from this thought form. And we have to take our whole lives, everything about what we do. And as you can manage it step by step, you leave that old thought form and you find new ways to, say you have to leave a job that's really really destructive to you. It's really tearing you down. Find a way to leave it. Find a way to go to something that you love and that doesn't have the corruption. Find a way to just think every single minute when you catch yourself thinking and feeling or saying something that's really judgmental of yourself, of somebody else, something else. Stop the thought and choose the opposite. Choose the opposite thought. Choose something that's beautiful to think about. Something that, if you're judging another person, condemning them, belittling them in your mind, instead of doing that, think of what's great about this person. They're a human, they're alive, they have consciousness, they are doing their daily whatever it is they're doing. And maybe they're making mistakes and stuff like that. But what are the things that they're doing that have some kind of beauty or love or peace? We rarely are encouraged to think about that, about other people, let alone ourselves. We're doing this judging, condemning,
Okay,
nasty dart throwing at ourselves as much as we are everybody else.
out of time.
Out of time.
Out of time. We talk in the next talk. We talk about how the book helps you to do that, to do all these things that Kate just described, and how important unconditional love, learning to love unconditionally, is in the process. Sound good?
Sounds really good.
All right. Um, please like, comment, share, turn notifications on. And if you have questions, ask them in the comments. Put them in the comments. And again, the book is The Weavings, Dawn of a New World. You can find it on Amazon. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Kay. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank
See
you,
you next
everybody, for
time.
watching. Bye bye.